So the Epstein files are out, and they've ripped the lid off this deeply disturbing global network of power. We're going to dive into what these documents actually tell us, and why it's so much more important than you might think. Okay, so I want you to picture this. A 7-story mansion right in the middle of New York City. The entrance is lined with fake eyeballs. There's a taxidermy tiger in the office. This wasn't just some rich guy's house. It was a carefully designed stage, a place where the most powerful people in the world walked right into a trap. Which brings us to the big question, right? How on earth does a guy who was a college dropout, a former math teacher, end up creating this system that ensnared some of the most influential figures on the entire planet? That's the real mystery we're unpacking here. To really get a handle on the how, you've got to look past the whole finance guy story. The theory, and it's a pretty compelling one, is that Epstein's real business was something way, way darker: blackmail. The allegation is that his massive wealth didn't just come from managing money for the super rich. No, it was built on a foundation of information, of access, and ultimately of control. It was about turning secrets into leverage. And this, right here, was supposedly the heart of the whole operation, an incredibly sophisticated surveillance system. We're talking a dedicated media room with screens everywhere, showing live feeds from hidden cameras, even in the bathrooms. The FBI later found CDs in a secret safe, labeled with names, suggesting a systematic recording of everything and everyone. And look, this isn't just some wild theory. This quote is from Maria Farmer, one of his victims, who testified that she saw this monitor room with her own eyes. Her words they give you this chilling, visceral picture of what was really going on behind those closed doors. It was a factory for blackmail. Which brings us to the main event, the thing that blew this whole conspiracy wide open: the massive release of the Epstein files. The floodgates just opened. The U.S. Justice Department dropped an absolute bombshell. We're talking over 3 million pages, photos, videos, all made public. It confirmed so many suspicions, and boy, did it implicate a lot of new, very powerful people. And the names in these files, wow, they are huge. Just take a look here. On one side, you've got Bill Gates, who kept meeting with Epstein after he was already a convicted sex offender. Then, on the other side, Google co-founder Sergey Brin, who witnesses say they saw on Epstein's notorious private island more than once. And then there's this, a direct email from Elon Musk to Jeffrey Epstein. After he'd been publicly speculating about who else might be in the files, boom. His own words come out, showing he was pretty interested in visiting the island and its infamous parties. It just makes you wonder who knew what and when they knew it. But here's where it gets even bigger. This wasn't just an American or European thing. No, this web was truly global, with some really shocking new connections that lead all the way to India. So one of the key new names that popped up is this guy, Indian industrialist Anil Ambani. The files show him messaging Epstein for help with the White House, specifically asking for meetings on behalf of what he calls leadership. And, a lot of people are reading that as a direct reference to the Indian government. And this timeline, it's just wild. It shows you how fast all this was moving. Look at the timing here. The very night of India's election results, Ambani is at Epstein's house. A few hours later, Epstein is texting Trump's former strategist Steve Bannon about a Modi meeting. And less than a day after that, he's telling Bannon that Modi on board. I mean, think about that. A convicted criminal is apparently acting as a high-level political go-between. So what were they talking about? Not business deals. We're talking major league geopolitics. This quote from Epstein to Bannon shows they were discussing India's strategic position against China and Pakistan. Ambani, who Epstein calls Modi's guy, was allegedly passing on national security stances through Jeffrey Epstein. The implications are just staggering. And Ambani wasn't the only one. Another big connection is Hardeep Singh Puri, a current Indian minister. He had meetings at Epstein's house, and get this was before he officially joined the government. Even back then, Epstein was introducing him to tech billionaires as your man in India. It just shows how deep these roots went. Okay, so we have all these bombshells, right? Billionaires, politicians, global deals. So you'd expect major consequences. Well, this is where the story gets even more disturbing. It starts to look a lot like a system designed specifically to protect the powerful. The actual fallout? It's been almost nothing. It's incredible.
A couple of officials resigned or got shuffled around, but out of this entire massive global network, only one person, Ghislaine Maxwell, is actually in jail. Meanwhile, you have these key players, like Epstein himself and his alleged supplier Jean-Luc Brunel, just dying in jail under really suspicious circumstances.
And here's the kicker. For everything we have seen, there's still so much we haven't. Believe it or not, the Department of Justice is still holding back around 40% of the files. It makes you wonder, what, and more importantly, who, is in those documents that we're not allowed to see?
So when you take a step back and look at all of this, you have to ask yourself a very serious question. Was Jeffrey Epstein just one monstrous, evil individual? Or is his story actually a reflection of something much bigger? A hidden system of power, money, and secrecy that's designed to protect the powerful no matter what? And if that's true, what does that say about the world we're living in?
Beyond the fact of the Prime Minister's official visit to Israel in July 2017, the rest of the allusions in the email are little more than trashy ruminations by a convicted criminal which deserve to be dismissed with the utmost contempt.